What's up, everybody? The Common Sense Messiah is back to challenge another mainstream narrative, and today I want us to address the female delusion. And I want us to challenge that narrative of the female delusion from the perspective of the influence they get from female celebrities and other pop culture references, especially on matters to do with relationships and coexisting with the other gender and other issues to do with lifestyle as well. And I want to point out some irregularities that I have observed with women when it comes to following these celebrities, when there are actual things that they could be learning from these celebrities that they are not learning instead. And I'm going to get straight to the point, and we're going to start with our first celebrity. She's been called the queen of all hoes. I don't see it as much, but I do get where the whole idea comes from, and this is Kim Kardashian. She got famous literally because of a sex tape, and then channeled that into marketing the TV show that they had as a family, the Keeping Up with the Kardashians. You all know Kim Kardashian. I don't need to give you her entire backstory. Now, here's the funny thing about Kim Kardashian. Her entire celebrity life, from the moment she got famous up to now, it's been 20 something years. It could be 20 years, I don't know. But the woman who is termed as being the queen of all hoes has accumulated a body count of 13 men in a span of 20 something years. Now, here lies the problem. I am not saying that 13 is a small body count, but relative to what we know about women out here, the average woman, the body counts she's pulling, right? Compare that to Kim Kardashian. That makes Kim Kardashian look like a saint. It makes her look like a virgin. There are women out here in a span of 2 years or 3 years, they have been run over by more men than 13. I don't know. There are women who accumulate, and the funny thing is, most of the women defend sex in the perspective of they only date, they only tend to have sex with the men they date. But the unfortunate reality is, a single woman will still have sex. And it's not that I'm shaming her or anything. Of course, your body, your choice. But I really want us to challenge this mainstream narrative by me shifting your perspective so that you can truly understand how misinformation or how these women misunderstand these celebrities. Because if you look at Kim Kardashian, she has accumulated a body count of 13 men. Sure, a good number of the years where she has accumulated that body count, some of the men she's been with, she was married to them, right? And sure, she has a record of having a failure rate. There's a consistent failure rate with her marriages. Granted, I am not saying she's a saint, but let's look at the women out here who are following her and what they are learning from her. They are not only learning the negative things about her lifestyle, they are overdoing it to a magnitude that even Kim Kardashian doesn't do it. Now, potentially, there may be other men who are not in the limelight in the entirety of the time she was a celebrity that she may have associated with, because it could have happened, who knows. But of the ones that are known, it's only 13. The unfortunate thing about this is, even the men, we tend to shame Kim Kardashian a lot, and we tend to call her all manner of names because of the way she portrays herself on media, the way she does many things, and it's a fair reason. There's a fair reason behind the criticism, and I am not saying it's in any way unfair, but the thing I want us to understand, if you were to extend that same amount of scrutiny that you give this woman because of her being a celebrity, if you were to extend that to your average woman who exists around you, who is just your regular corporate girl or whatever, if you were to extend that amount of scrutiny, like literally look into her past, and maybe she comes clean out of honesty, she tells you I be so so and so so and so so and so and so, you'll realize in a span of, let's say, even 7 years, this woman has accumulated a body count that is larger than 13. Larger than 13. And that's the problem. That's the problem I want to address. The female delusion. Because in your mind, as a woman, you think that Kim Kardashian is the person to look up to, yet the entire thing she's been doing with her life privately, she has been, in a sense, more reserved compared to you, her fans, who have been hella hoes out here. And you parade yourself as hoes on the narrative that my girl Kim does it, My girl Kim does what, all these things. Let's look at Cardi B. She has also been given that title, Queen of All Hoes, especially given that she has a past of being a stripper. So hers is like she's like a story of from grass to grace. She was a stripper and all these things, and then she rose to fame and became this super artist and all these things. Then she got married to Offset. This is a woman who is selling whoredom to you in her music. She is marketing degeneracy to you, and you're actively taking it in as advice and a lifestyle worth living. Yet, when she was done with her shoots, her video shoots, her promotions, and all these things, she went back to her husband Offset, cooked for him, and even made videos so you can see it, so that you can understand she is a wife. Then she's gonna post pictures with her babies so that you can understand she's a mother. Then she's gonna post a whole lot of romantic stuff they do with Offset so that you can see it. But you, the modern woman, you decide, I am not gonna take all that. What I'm gonna take is what she's preaching in the music videos. Let's go be hoes. Let's go be ratchet. That's your takeaway. That's your takeaway. Because, see, that's a problem I want to address. There are things you could be learning from these celebrities, but you're not learning them. You're not learning them. You're choosing to follow the face that they apply on the media. You're choosing to follow the personalities that they market to you, yet that is not who they are. That is not who they are in private. They don't even stand for that particular narrative that they are pushing to you. The reason they're doing it is because it's popular and they know it's going to sell their music. And even then, most of them are not in charge of their music and their songwriting because executives, musical executives, control the creative direction of the music for the most part because they understand social trends. So one artist will have an entire team of songwriters, producers, and all that, do all that curating of music for them, and then she's gonna be the performer, the singer. She's gonna be the image of the song. But she had very little to do creatively in terms of coming up with a song. And the personality around the song, and the vibe around the song, and the marketing around the song. All that is music label business. And that is what you choose to follow as the authenticity of this artist. Yet, even when they do go the extra mile of showing you who they are behind closed doors, or who they are in their, when they are not an artist, you see their wives, they have their babies, they take them out for shopping, they take them to Disney World. You choose to just like that photo and scroll it over. And then the next one that comes is a short or a reel that is an excerpt of a music video where they were just talking like some ratchet whores, and that's what motivates you. That's a deletion, because you see, that's the thing I want to address to the modern woman, because that's a problem to do with you, not with the person you're following. That's a problem to do with you, because you see, our brain works in mysterious ways. Okay, not necessarily mysterious, but there is a pattern to the way the brain works. Everybody has some form of bias. Bias is where you tend to favor something for you feeling a certain affiliation to it. So, for instance, if a politician of one party I support says something, and a politician of another party I don't support says something, or they say the same thing, and I agree with both of them, chances are, because I am biased towards this one, I will most likely agree with him more than I will with the other person because I am biased towards this one. They both said the same thing, but the one I support will make more sense to me because of that bias. Now, that's the way the brain works. In the same sense, here we have an artist who is showing you her private life. She's a wife, she's a mother, she's all this and all that, but you decide you're not going to follow that. What you're going to follow is her being a ratchet, her being a hoe, and all this degeneracy that they're marketing. That's what you're going to choose to follow. That shows where your brain truly is. That shows where your bias really lies. That shows who you truly are in terms of where your morality, your thought process, and all these things to do with You as a person are. That is who you are. That's not a problem to do with the artist. And I really like the fact that I used Kim Kardashian as an example because in a span of 20 something years, she has had a body count, a known body count of 13 men. You, on the other hand, in a span of 7 years, you've had a body count of 15, I don't know, 16 men. That's a you problem. You can't say the world is marketing whoredom to you. Kim has been posting her kids all day. Kim was even posting stuff they do with Kanye sometimes. She was promoting her marriage life in the open. They literally had a reality show at a time when everyone in the family, almost everyone in the family, was married. And I know you women watch the hell out of that thing. Yet, the very thing you chose to decide to take away from Kim Kardashian was, let's go be hoes. That's a you problem. That's a you problem. And that's the thing I want to address because that's a mainstream narrative that I needed to challenge so that you can see that the hoe is not as a result of marketing, it's something that lies in you and it's something you need to fix in yourself. Because you can't really say that Beyonce doesn't market the fact that she's a mother. She's with Blue Ivy all the other time. She's also working with her twins, taking them places. Yeah? Other times you see her crediting Jay-Z, the husband, for this and that. In fact, when she's not releasing music, she's doing some other stuff to do with other things, even some private life stuff. Yeah? But the moment she releases a song and it has maybe some amount of degeneracy in it, that's the thing you remember her for. It's a shame that we are in 2026. Her most famous song is still Single Ladies, and it still resonates with the majority of the women. Yet, the person who sang the damn song is married and a mother of three. I could be wrong about, I don't, maybe she has more kids, but I don't follow them as much, but I know of three, right? But you get the point. You get the point. You're the one who's choosing to follow the wrong message. The message, the right message has been there all along, and it has been put to you so blatantly, in your face, such that you can't miss it. But you actively decide to miss it because your brain will bypass anything that seems decent and it will accept anything that is degenerate because that is who you are. That is my parting shot. That is who you are. See you in the next one.